Hey, can we start with, can you just give us a rundown of injuries for today?
Yeah, you want to ask specifically, that way I can tell you who you.
Can you give us a status on Cody Ford, Josh Norman? I'm assuming John Brown is still okay. Some of the guys that showed up on the injury list last week.
Yeah, some of the guys you mentioned will be limited. Some won't practice. So Cody will be limited today. John Brown will not practice. Josh Norman will not practice. I think that's about it, right?
How about Matt Milano? Because I know that we kind of saw him have some limited snaps last week. How's his progress when it comes to his recovery?
Yeah, he will not practice either. So we'll just monitor that this week as we go forward.
Okay. And then, when it comes to the offense, we've heard a lot about taking what the defense gives you when it comes to that game plan. But at what point do you guys have to dictate and do what you guys want to do on offense? I guess, where's that balance there?
Yeah, it's got to be a healthy balance, and I think we've done some good things offensively, quite honestly, and going back to the last game, and we just got to continue to evolve, continue to keep that offensive mindset on all three sides of the ball, really.
When you look at what Seattle does offensively, they're so explosive with Russell Wilson, and they put up a lot of points. They're leading the league in scoring. How on offense for you guys, how do you keep pace with a team like that?
I mean, it's obvious they present a huge challenge. They won a Super Bowl. They're playing at a high level. I would say Russell's playing at an all-time high, probably MVP level, and they've got weapons and they score a lot of points, just like you said. So, it'll be a big challenge for us defensively and as a team.
Thanks, Coach.
Sure.
Hey, Coach, Adam Benini. Good morning.
Morning.
On the heels of that, I guess looking at them offensively and given some of the challenges you face from a defensive standpoint and some of the things you've been able to overcome and execute defensively, talk about, I know you don't want to get into X's and O's, but where does this challenge rank in terms of teams you've faced, in terms of an offense you've got to deal with your defense having to deal with it? And what is the key to limiting an offense like this?
Well, it's listen, we recognize they have good players, good scheme. They're playing at a high level and they're tough, man, really tough. I mean, you go against San Francisco and they end up, being pretty good there. So they just do a great job in a lot of ways. And really, for us, it's the start of the week for us. So we're kind of just getting started at them and want to go out here and have a good practice and see it all start to come together at this point for us.
Is it a fundamental thing? I mean, base fundamentals, you talk about that every week. That's part of your job as a head coach. But in terms of assignments, in terms of how you execute a defense, I would think that is like foundational when it comes to that.
No, you're right. Yeah, we got to play great team defense and everything, like you said, that goes into that, the fundamentals and everything on down through the line. It's important that we do that, play great team defense.
Last thing on the flip side, the emergence of the run game last week. Game like this, I would think that's key too. I mean, time of possession maybe keeps that offense off the field a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's you got to figure out a way to counteract what they do, right? I mean, they score a lot of points. We've got to do a good job on our offense and special teams units, keeping them off the field any way we can in terms of their offense. And sometimes that's your best defense is keeping the ball away from the opposing quarterback. And so, yeah, just overall, a lot of respect for what they do and Russell Wilson on top of that.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it.
Sure. Yeah.
Hey, Sean. John Worrell, AP.
Hi, John.
Looking at a big picture perspective, I think we sometimes lose sight. Everybody's talking about, what's wrong with this, what's wrong with this, how can you improve that? But if you look back on your 3.5 seasons, you're 6-2 for a second time in back-to-back years. How far has this team come, and has your process come as you look back?
Well, I'll let you guys write about that overall, John. I would just say, I think the expectation now has changed, and that's where we are. The expectation's changed, and that's where you want to be. It's it becomes part of the institution, if you will. You know, part of who we are, part of what we do and how we do things, and you know, so that's the best thing I could say internally at this point.
Right, and how big of a hurdle has been changing that expectations in your experience?
Yeah, I mean that's part of the goal when you take over a new program, and you know, it's a full team effort, and we've gotten a lot of help, and it's been a process, right? Not to throw that word out there, but it's been a process, and that's to be expected. But really like where we are, like how we're positioned, and you know, the next eight weeks are really the start of a new season for us here.
Oh yeah, you're allowed to use process. One last thing, it's on Justin Zimmer. In your experience, I mean, we all know about undrafted guys who come in and make big plays, but for a guy who's had more transactions and tackles in his 4+ year career or whatever, however long it's been, what do you make of his stick-to-itiveness and just what he's done to get to that point to make that play on Sunday?
Yeah, you know what? My kids are just about the right age where they can watch and learn from experiences like this. To see a young man like Justin Zimmer go through what he's gone through, and then to persevere, as you said, and make a play like that is I think that's a great life experience and a life story that we can all learn from and be encouraged by. So I think it's great to see.
Thanks, Sean.
Sure.
Hi, Sean.
I think.
So Russell Wilson, you've got certainly experience with him going back to your D coordinator days in Carolina. And then when you look at a little bit of the history of where teams have, if the few teams, I guess, that find success, it is primarily with that pass rush, the Rams, for instance, and you know about them. As you look at your group, your front four, it feels like that is where a lot of the focus must be to have a shot at doing something effective against them. How do you see it in terms of your pass rush and where it is and its ability to do that, and what you see and know of Russell Wilson through his career and first half of the season?
Yeah, I'll start with Russell just in terms of the level of his play, and as I said earlier, Vic, just playing at an all-time high level, potential MVP level, and a lot of respect for him. And I would just say, regardless of what type of quarterback you're going against, you have to have the front. You've got to have the front to affect the quarterback. And, your front's got to play well every week. You've got to control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. We talk a lot about that here weekly.
And again, what's your level of whatever the word is? I know I'm going to say confidence, and I know that's probably not the best one, but for the sake of this discussion, where you see your pass rush now, and how its ability that you think to handle something like this, and how much of a pressure or whatever conversation is that for you on this group this week, that they have to really step their game to the highest level?
Yeah, I think they're aware of it. Every week they know they're the tip of the spear for our defense, Vic, and I've enjoyed watching them the last few weeks as we continue to build the defense, and their evolution, their coordination, their chemistry, and the way they're playing. So I think that's a work in progress and to be continued at this point.
Thanks, Sean.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, Thad Brown. I'm assuming you took a good look at DK Metcalf in the draft process last year. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But now that you're seeing him on film getting ready this week, what has improved or matured about his game that allowed him to blossom into the star he's become this year?
Yeah, I mean, I was aware of him for sure, through the draft process. It's honestly probably a better specific question for DK. I mean, he was a great player in college. He's a great player now. You see the strength, the speed, the height, the weight. I mean, what you see every week when you watch the highlights on Sunday night, is what we're seeing when we're watching the coaches tape. So that in and of itself would be a big challenge, let alone their entire offense.
Well, and then you've got Metcalf on one side playing at a super high level, and then you've got Tyler Lockett on the other side playing at an equally high level, but with two very different skill sets and very complementary skill sets. How unique a challenge is it to have two receivers like that on the other side?
Yeah, the speed is real. The challenge is real. They're a great offense and a great football team.
All right, thanks, Sean.
Okay, thanks, Dan.
Hey, Sean, kind of building off of Vic's question and getting pressure on Russ. Conversely, where's the line between pressuring him too much, given how creative and how successful he can be when plays break down and he gets out of the pocket?
Yeah, you've got to be smart with that because he does have the ability to extend plays, as you mentioned, Marcel. And just overall, again, I think that the key word is respect. We got a lot of respect for Russell Wilson, and what else can you say about him? He does it all. He can run it, he can throw it. So he's a big challenge.
And just one more. I think I've referenced it a couple times before, but such a key focal point for you guys, at least from what we heard, was improving your passing offense to the point where you can win games when you have to throw it 40 times a game. Do you feel comfortable at this point that if you have to throw the ball 40 plus times Sunday, that you can be successful doing so?
Look, we gotta. You can't upset the football gods. I would say let's start there, and then you do what you feel like you need to do to win. Game plan wise, more than anything, defensively, special teams, and offense. So it starts with good fundamentals more than anything.
All right, thanks, Sean.
Sure.
Good morning, Sean. I wanted to ask you, obviously it was a very emotional win. You spoke to that on Sunday night. If there's any concern for you about getting your guys back, in the right headspace, coming off, finally beating the Patriots and, really, I know you don't want to say it, but grabbing sort of a hold of the division.
Yeah, that was one game. And we always try and institute a 24-hour rule after each game. And we have a mature team. I expect our guys to do that and handle it the right way. We're going out in a few minutes here to practice and put a good practice together as we continue to grow as a football team. We've moved on and we've got a big challenge in front of us this week. So, it's about our week of preparation and our mindset for sure.
And I just want to ask, Brian Daboll yesterday, 2 days ago, whatever day this is, was talking about Josh Allen and his willingness to do whatever it takes to help the team. And if that means throwing it 40 times, he throws it 40, or in the case of last weekend, throwing it 18 and sort of managing the game that way. I guess, is that this word we've used a lot with him, but is that just another sign of Josh's maturity as a football player and a leader?
Yeah, he's very selfless in his approach. He's a team first guy. He's focused on doing whatever he can to win, whatever job he's assigned to. He does it to his utmost ability, and I think that's a great example to the rest of our team.
Coach, top of the morning to you, Mookie Hawkins. How's it going?
Good, Mookie. How are you?
I'm great. Beautiful day out. Recently, you picked up Darren Lee and Darryl Worley, some guys that you're familiar with. Care to talk about what are the expectations for those guys and what could they bring to your team?
Yeah, they're going to come in. They're players that have played a lot of snaps in this league and certainly have ability. So they're going to come in and earn every piece of it. That's the expectation, and embrace the role that they're in and continue to grow and learn systematically what we do and see if they can help us.
Absolutely. And Coach, 6-2, halfway point, man. You absolutely found a way to pull ball games out. Great job you're doing. So what's your overall assessment midway through the season here?
Well, I think we're in a good spot. Just in terms of the experiences we've had together as a football team, learning how to win, knowing how to win is a key thread to good football teams, good teams, and yet we've learned some hard lessons too, and I think that's healthy as well. So it's a new season going forward. We're at the midway point, as you said, Mookie, and I think you said it well. So it's a restart and a reset, and we'll see how we do over the next 8 games, starting with this week against a very good football team.
All right, week 1 appears, man. Got to earn the right to win this week, Coach. Good luck.
Okay, thanks, Mookie.
Yes, Sean, Mark Gahn here. Just real quick, a couple more injury checks. Mitch Morse, Micah Hyde, Dawson Knox, Vernon Butler, and then the 5th would be Tremaine Edmonds. Was he okay, and will he practice today?
Yeah, Tremaine's fine. I got to look down to follow your path there. So Mitch Morse and Micah are both in the concussion protocol. Mitch will not practice. Micah will be limited. Dawson Knox remains in the COVID protocol. He's in the building, but he's in the COVID protocol. And then I think you said Vernon Butler, perhaps. He'll practice today. Yes. Also limited.